You wanna know how much I like this stupid shirt? I have like 3 of the same one, purchased over the course of like 2 years. Let that sink in. But today is not about fashion, boys and girls. Today, my Too Tall crew, we are here to talk about the wonderful, the imaginative, the beautiful Activision. We finally know, thanks to the world's greatest journalist, self-described, Jason Schreier, exactly what went down at Activision over the past few years, and this is actually a genuinely good piece of journalism, jokes aside. You thought Black Ops 4 had the campaign cut because they wanted to focus on multiplayer and Battle Royale? You've got to be kidding. You had to know that Black Ops 4 had some problems, but what I bet you didn't know is that Black Ops 3 was once every game you played in 2017 and 2016. Like every game. Black Ops 3 was literally doing the same thing every other game on the market was doing until it was entirely overhauled mid-development. But let's get into that before we start talking about how every Call of Duty game was at one point a Teletubby simulator. Earlier today, depending on when you're watching this, it could be, I don't know, it doesn't matter, a piece released on Kotaku written by Jason Schreier talking about the development and really about the culture of crunch at Activision. Today is not for us caring about employees, even though crunch is really bad and we should not support that. Today is more about what's going on at Activision behind the scenes that they don't want to tell anybody about because it looks really bad. No, but for real, crunch is not good. I don't want to just kind of push that aside and pretend like it's not. It's very important. Treat your employees well. Actually, you know what? Let's get that out of the way first. In this report, the point of Jason Schreier's investigative journalism here was to kind of understand the culture of crunch that comes with working anywhere but the Too Tall desk office. Specifically, the QA testers is his main focus here. He goes into detail about how over the past couple of years, QA testers have basically been treated like trash at Activision Studios. QA testers are the people that play the game, try to get out the bugs, find the problems, make sure everything's running well, all that good stuff. He says that for the longest time over the past couple of years, they've been working 70-hour weeks. When they have holiday parties, when they have catering, they're literally told you can come to the party, but only for 20 minutes or so, then you need to get back to work, unlike the rest of the studio. When they have catering, they're not allowed to touch the catering. The catering is only for the dev team, the QA testers. If they want some at all, they have to scrounge for scraps hours later after the dev team has had their chance to eat. Better yet, they're working on $13 an hour for those 70 hours in intense crunch as they see Activision CEOs and executives getting $15 million bonuses. They're sent to work on a different floor than the development team. They're told not to even talk to parts of the development team. In fact, a lot of the QA testers don't feel comfortable doing it for fear they might get fired. So yeah, they're treated like hot garbage. That's terrible. But what I found more interesting in this article, again, because we know crunch is bad, and I don't think you need me to tell you that for the next 10 minutes. Crunch is bad. We know. We get it. I'm not saying the journalism was bad. I'm just saying we don't need to talk about it. What was more interesting in this article was hearing about what Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 were supposed to be and what happened to these games. I think we all knew, and I actually made a video about it at the time, that there was supposed to be some sort of campaign in Black Ops 4. It was very clear from the rumors behind the scenes that something had gone wrong, and a similar reality had coalesced in Black Ops 3's development cycle. Something had clearly gone wrong along the way, and it turns out we were exactly right. Things had gone really wrong. Let's start with Black Ops 3 because I think this one is the weirdest one. Black Ops 3 obviously had a campaign. Black Ops 3 was meant to have a campaign in its entirety. I mean, that was the goal from day one, unlike what happened to Black Ops 4, which is real different. But what happened to Black Ops 3 is about midway through developments, they were hard at work on a campaign that included an open world. And when I say open world, I mean open world. I actually talked to somebody else about this really quickly after reading Jason Schreier's report. Just a quick little message. This is right. There indeed was meant to be an open world in this Call of Duty game. You were meant to complete objectives around this world, do missions, make your way through what I guess would be comparable to Homefront games, or really any other game that you could call a open world shooter. Now, I'm not entirely sure how open world this was meant to be. I mean, I guess technically you could call something like BioShock Infinite open world, even if it's a segmented open world. Actually, you really can't. That world is not super traversable throughout the game. But you understand what I'm saying. Is it open world in the sense of you can go anywhere you want, whenever you want, which appears to be the case of Black Ops 3 or segmented open world. What appears to have happened here is there was going to be a real open world. You would walk around it, NPCs, all that good stuff in a Call of Duty game. About halfway through, they went, whoa, Nelly, this isn't working. Surprise, trying to shove an open world game, an accomplishment you've never seen through at this studio, into a development cycle of 2 to 3 years, doesn't really work. I'm shocked. Call of Duty was chasing the trends. Halfway through, they went, whoop, this isn't working, and kind of scrapped it all and went, let's just try a regular campaign. And then had crunch after crunch after crunch, trying to get all of this done to get the game out on time. Because as you all know, you can't delay a Call of Duty game. When Black Ops 4 rolls around, Activision goes, hey guys, we've learned our lesson. Let's do this the right way. Let's see whatever we want to do through. No? Alright, let's do it all over again.
Got him!
And that's exactly what happened. Black Ops 4 was supposed to have a campaign according to Jason Schreier. This one kind of unique and novel. Essentially, you and a buddy were meant to go through this co-op campaign. How it would work is there would be objectives, there would be levels, there would be missions where you two would have to go and complete an objective against 2 other people. So 2 of you, you and your buddy, will be going to escort a convoy while the other 2 would be trying to stop you from doing so. Or you 2 would be going to defuse something while the other 2 try to stop you from doing so. Or you 2 are going to escort a hostage while the other 2 stop you from doing so. It would be this 2-on-2 mission structure that was almost a competitive campaign. If you didn't have a buddy, you didn't have friends, then you would play with AI partners on all 3 sides. And this campaign looked great according to everybody at Activision. They had actually managed to, before the holiday party at Activision, put together full missions, full structure with voice acting, everything in there. They completed it. They went away to Vegas for their holiday party, just like Jason Schreier says, and Activision went, this looks great. And then apparently they play tested and everyone went, this is boring, we don't like this. And they went,
Harry, if you haven't made your bed, throw it away. It's too late to make it now.
So they scrapped it all and decided, hey, let's try to just shove this into a single player campaign. Let's kind of reformat it, mix it around in a bowl, and spit it back out and see if we can't get a campaign that's more Call of Duty. It literally says add explosions and stuff. So they do just that. They mix it all together, and within a couple of months they're meant to spit out a campaign, and everybody at Activision looks around and goes, this isn't possible. And when I say Activision, I want to be very clear. The studio. Because the publisher clearly has no idea what's happening. So they eventually go, this isn't possible. They look around and go, we can't do this. They go to Activision and say, we can't do this. And Activision says, well, we need something else, guys. Everybody looks around and goes, Battle Royale. Blackout wasn't the plan. Blackout wasn't going to be there from the jump, and it may be why, in a lot of ways, they haven't pushed Blackout to be anything more or close to what PUBG attempted to become or Fortnite. It's because it was an afterthought. Literally, Blackout was an afterthought. There was supposed to be a campaign there. All that nonsense they gave us about there was never a campaign, we were always focused on these things, all marketing speak. And that's where we're gonna get to the commentary portion of this video. Well, this is very good reporting. This is one of the most angering pieces of reporting that I have read in a very long time because people continue to buy into this crap. First off, if this is not proof that Call of Duty's release cycle, this whole get a game out every year, is destructive, I don't know what is. They are not releasing the games that they want to be releasing. They are not releasing the products they set out to release. And let me be very clear, when I say they, again, I don't mean the publisher, I mean the artists, the programmers, the people trying to make a good game, the people working their butts off to make something worthwhile, not the publishers who just want to sell something. These games are not what the people making them intend them to be at all. And now we're hearing reports of ex-developers saying that Activision the publisher, is the one pushing their studios to include darker content, controversial content in the new Modern Warfare game in order to grab headlines instead of making the game they want to make. In fact, the studios pushed back on this, and apparently the publisher said, no thank you, Sonny, you're gonna put it in there because we're telling you to. Now, am I upset that there's gonna be darker content in Modern Warfare? And not at all, not the point. The point is that Activision clearly has a culture of pushing their studios, their artists, their developers, their programmers, Infinity Ward, Treyarch, whatever it is, pushing these studios to create the things that they don't want to create things that they don't believe they have the time to create, to do things that are not what they set out to do. Activision could care less about the quality of their products. That's just 2 Black Ops games. That's just 2 Black Ops games in this report that have been rebooted midway through development because Activision cannot let their teams make something. You know what I believe should have happened to Black Ops 3? You know what I believe should have happened? Play tested. It's not as fun as we want it to be. It's boring. Okay, expand on the idea. Don't panic. Don't panic and scrap everything. That's a genuinely good idea. I'm sorry, I meant Black Ops 4. We don't need another open world shooter. I meant Black Ops 4. I meant the 2v2. We don't need another one of those. Expand on the idea. Expand on the idea. Make it better. Don't panic. Let these people see their vision through. And you know what's more distressing to me about this? It's that Activision now clearly just straight up lied through the release cycle of Black Ops 4. Just straight up lied. All the way through. They told us that Blackout was there because it was a wonderful idea and they were focused on it and this had been there from the jump and this is something they wanted to do and even if it wasn't their idea from day one, that this was something that they always had in mind and blah, 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 blah. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was a contingency plan you made up last minute because what you wanted to do, you panicked on and couldn't complete. That's exactly what this was. We heard Black Ops 4 never had a campaign. That's what we heard from Activision. Now, everybody and their mother knew, because of behind the scenes stuff, that there was. But Activision, we never had a campaign. There was nothing there. This was always the plan. No, it wasn't. That's a lie. That's not true. There was something there. There was absolutely something there. And this is problematic as a consumer because at this point, who can we believe in the gaming industry? And you might be saying, well, what's the big deal? They said there wasn't a campaign. There was at one point. Now there's Blackout. Live with it. Yeah, that's true. That's fine. But you know what I want to know when I spend my money? I want to know how hard these people worked on the thing I'm buying. How much effort was put into the things I'm spending my money on. If I go to BMW to buy a car, I expect that all the processes needed to complete a working car have been completed in a time frame that makes the most sense. If I go to BMW and they say, hey, we have this one car right here, beautiful car, purrs like a kitty. It's wonderful. We made it last night. It was tough. We had to push through. Haven't really double checked everything, so we're not entirely sure how long it's gonna last, but let me tell you something. That kitty purrs. Or we have this, I don't know, this 2019 over here. Took like 6 months to manufacture and everything. It works and we've test driven it, but who really cares? Because look at this guy. This is an obvious decision, and the same goes for my games. If I have the option, and I know this, of a game where artists, programmers saw their vision through, we're honest, we know what we're getting, and we know that this is something that people put their time and energy into, and it wasn't restarted out of fear and panic and didn't have anything behind it that made any sort of sense, I want that game over this game. Forget review scores. A good way for me to know whether or not the game I'm about to buy is good is whether or not the people talking about it are being honest. The people lying about their games are usually selling games that aren't that great, guys. I hate to say it. I'm not saying you're wrong for enjoying Black Ops 4. I'm not saying you're wrong for enjoying Black Ops 3. I'm not saying you're wrong for enjoying Call of Duty. I'm just saying if you need more evidence of why people say these games are cash grabs, if you need more evidence why people say these games aren't that great, if you need more evidence why people say that these games are not worth time and money, it's this stuff. There are games that are a lot more difficult to make, that are a lot more time consuming, that have a lot more heart and soul into them, and you could tell from the moment you pick them up. Call of Duty games are no longer that. That's just the reality. Now, I'm actually hopeful for Modern Warfare, and I'm hopeful for Modern Warfare really simply because it sounds like for once, and again, this could be me being naive, I could be falling into my own trap, it sounds like the developers are behind the wheel for once. Despite the reports from an ex-Infinity Ward dev, it sounds to me like they're behind the wheel for once. And if that's true, we could get something great here. I'm so excited for Modern Warfare. But again, maybe I'm falling into the trap I'm setting for myself. But now I want to know what you guys think over at Too Tall Desk. Do you like what you're hearing about Modern Warfare? Are you going to buy Modern Warfare? Do you see the flaws of Black Ops 4? Do you want the game that they were going to make with Black Ops 3? Do you want the game that they were going to make with Black Ops 4 and then scrapped? I'm going to answer Danielle's questions down in the comments below. It's up for real conversation. As always, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you're not yet subscribed, press subscribe. I put out more gaming videos just like this over here at Too Tall Desk, sometimes a week, whatever that means. So hit subscribe so you don't miss any of those. My Twitter handle will be in the top pinned comment. You can follow me there to get an idea of what games I'm playing, and it's a Twitter. You know what it does. I don't need to explain this to you. Until next time, I'm out.